What's going on, guys? It's your boy Northern Chat, or FaZE Rain, coming at you guys with a brand new video. And usually I start off my videos, just mid-sentence, and there's no really point in starting out a video for me. I mean, this one's going to be cut up a little bit too, but what I did want to talk about is I've actually been getting asked this a lot by a lot of people. And I've been getting comments saying, like, I wish my relationship with my mom was the way it is with yours. Has it always been like that? What did you do if it wasn't? What did you do to work on that? All that type of stuff. I want to let you guys know one thing and one thing right now. A relationship with your mom or your dad or someone is probably one of the most important relationships you'll ever need in your life. Now, my relationship with my mom has been extremely bipolar. I went from having, I think, since I was born till I was about like 8 or 9, my relationship with my mom was probably as good as it is right now. Especially before I started school, because I skipped a grade. I didn't go to kindergarten. I didn't go to preschool. I just went straight to grade 1. I actually skipped a grade. So when I was in 5th grade, when I was in 1st grade, I was only 5 years old. Everybody else was 6 years old. So I was a year younger, and they made me repeat grade 4 all over again. It was really bad. My marks were actually amazing. Back then, I was a straight A student, which I guess isn't that hard for, younger students. My relationship with my mom was so good before I started school. I was with her at all times. I became kind of a brat when I got into school and started making some, rebel friends. And not rebel, but like some pretty bad friends. Like, not bad, I don't want to say that, but, I'd be a troublemaker. I'd always give my mom problems. I'd always end up in the office. I started getting kind of bratty towards 4th and 5th grade. Now, about 6th grade is when I got like my first girlfriend, and that was really bad for my mom's part, because I made like a lot of problems for her because of that. Because my mom was like, "Oh, you're still a fucking kid. Like, what are you doing?" All that stuff, and she didn't really understand at the time. So back then, it was just my mom. This was way after my dad left. And before actually my dad left, my mom was really, really bad about that, because, he always kept her in a bad mood. He was never like good to her. He was kind of a piece of shit. So, it was really bad. But generally, my relationship with my mom, it was really good at the start because I was literally with her all the time. My dad used to work, my sister was in school, and it just left me and my mom together. This was before I started school, like I said. So I was with her all the time. We used to always go to Starbucks. We used to just, because we lived by, so we used to live in this area called Port Credit. You guys might know what it is. Some of you Canadian guys that live in like the Toronto GTA area. GTA is like the Greater Toronto area, by the way. It's not like Grand Theft Auto. I actually did start playing Grand Theft Auto like 6 years old, to be honest. Vice City, 6 or 7. I started young. So, I used to live in this area called Port Credit, and it's a really long, beautiful lake area. I still love the place. It's still beautiful to me. It's where I grew up for a little bit, and I really, really liked it. So, I used to always spend time with my mom, and, I loved her. I loved her for a long time. I'm getting to it. You're gonna be like, what do you mean for a long time? So, as soon as I turned about 12, 13, 14, 15, I actually started hating my mom for a long time. Me and her did not click well. Half the time we were arguing, half the time, we always butt heads, and I actually found myself saying a lot, like, I actually hate my mother. People would ask me about my mom, be like, no, I hate my mom. Like, I used to hate my mom. I used to run away from home all the time. Like, I used to do some really fucked up shit. Then again, I had a lot of, like, mental issues. Not mental issues, but, like, I was very emotional. I was very, like, unstable. Like, I was really, I was a problem. And it's not my mom's fault. If anything, it's my fault, because, like I said, I was really crazy back then. So it was kind of like a big handful for my mom. Now, if you guys watch my Draw My Life, where my life got really, really crazy, that's when my mom started getting really supportive. I started playing video games a lot more, and that's when, ergo, I started doing all this stuff. And, my mom, at first, she would always want me to get off. She'd be like, don't play too many games, don't get off it, get off it. But because she knew I was such, like, an emotional wreck, she kind of just let me do it, because it would keep me from, being, I don't know, just different stuff. It kept my mind going on this. So my relationship with my mom, as you guys can tell already, like, it wasn't that good. Even when I was like 15, 16, and I was kind of getting out of that whole like emotional phase, I still got in arguments with my mom a lot. We still butt heads. I didn't know what it was. This is only a couple years ago, guys, and it was really, really bad sometimes. Like, I remember once, I think in 10th grade, so about 2-3 years ago, I keep forgetting I'm almost 19, I'm 18 and a half, so, about 2.5, 3 years ago, I remember getting into a huge argument with my mom, and we didn't talk for about a month. Like, we straight up didn't talk for a month, and I think that was the longest time I never talked to her. Like, even though we butt heads a lot, I still talk to her. Like, even when we're in arguments, I would talk to her, but I specifically remember not talking to her for about a month, and it was, I felt like I didn't even need her at that point. I thought, I didn't care about my mom, and I was just, I was fine with it. And some moms are pieces of shit, straight up. Like, I've heard some stories about some awful moms that, just do really fucked up shit, and they don't care about their kids, and they do some disgusting things as a mom. My mom never did that, but we just never got along. I wish it was all unicorns and fireworks since day one, and if I was a stable person back then, I'm sure it would have been, but see, I was the problem, not my mom. It might have been her problem a little bit towards, like, when all that shit was going on with my dad and stuff, so, she was very hostile and very aggressive person all the time. So, like I said, I grew up in, like, a really, really violent, compulsive, angry household. Like, that was my house. And I remember about 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, I remember this is when I used to work at, this is actually after I joined FaZe. I remember that. I used to work at, for school, at a place called Urban Planet. It was like a clothing store, and I did it for school. It was like instead of going to school, I went to work. So that's what I used to do for like half the day. And I just remember one day coming home, and I just had like a really shitty day. And this is before I was still, you know, perfect with my mom, you know, happy relationship, blah, blah, blah. And I remember that I came home from work, and she was really, really like, so this was like actually less than 2 years ago, wow. This is like when I remember that our relationship completely changed in this day. So I came home from work, pissed off, and I couldn't find, it was really cold in the house, okay? It was freezing. And I couldn't find a hoodie, and I was pissed off, really, really, really mad. And whenever I get mad or I can't find something and something like that, I get really, you guys ever like when you can't find something, you start getting all sweaty and pissed? Because like, I don't know, it's just me. I get aggravated for stuff like that. And I was really mad. I remember I couldn't find my hoodie, and I was like, I wanted my Roots hoodie. I remember it. I wanted my big Roots hoodie. I couldn't find it. And I started like slamming drawers, smashing doors, all that shit. I was really pissed off. My mom came down and yelled at me, and I fucking yelled back at her, and I said, "Where the fuck's my?" Like I was an asshole. So honestly, I am. But you know, I've never talked to her like that now. But I'm saying, you know, I was freaking out, and we started yelling at each other. And I remember her, you know, getting up. I remember we were in the kitchen upstairs, and she started yelling at me, and I stood up, and she got all fucking scared. I would never hit my mom, you know, but she thought I was. For some reason, she thought I was actually about to like fucking this, which I would never ever do. Like, no matter how mad I am, I would never hit my mom. That's just one thing it's in my head, don't ever do. And I've never even been at that point where I felt like I was going to. I never thought I was like, but fucking, no, that's never been that case. But I remember that happening, and we were both screaming at each other, like full out screaming, you know, this fucking FaZe Jev at each other, screaming as loud as we can. And, oh, hold up, just real quick. Shouldn't expected anything. I got Nigerian armored pants. So, you know, we were screaming at each other nonstop, you know, really loud, and she just hugs me. She starts crying, hugs me. I start crying for some reason. I don't really cry over stuff, you know. Man, no, I don't really think these men have to cry, but I just don't really cry that much over stuff. I rarely cry. I think that was honestly, I think that was one of the last times I ever cried. Straight up, like I'm not even just kidding. I haven't found myself crying in a very, very long time. So that time, I remember I was crying my eyes out. She was crying her eyes out. We just hugged each other. We made up. And our relationship completely changed after that. Before, it would be like, she'd get mad, I'd get mad, and we'd just be like in a huge argument, we wouldn't talk, blah, 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 and that'd be it. And I don't know what it was, but after that, I just found myself caring about her so much more. And I don't even know, like, it's crazy. Like, and now my relationship with my mom is so golden. We get in a little bit arguments every now and then, but they're usually resolved by the end of like the argument. We don't scream at each other. We don't ever raise our voices anymore. I mean, sometimes, you know, just because we're naturally loud people, we get loud, you know what I mean? You know, I don't even care. I keep getting these like half-done lobbies. I'm just gonna play around just so I can talk. So after that, my relationship with my mom completely changed. Like, I went from like not, you know, fully loving the woman to death. Like, you know, I didn't feel like I completely loved her like to death. I mean, I loved her. She was my mom always. You know, end of the day, she's your mom, and you gotta love her. You know, I don't know. I love my mom. She's great, and she was always good. But I never understood that. And some people take their moms for granted. Like, they don't understand like how great a mom's love is. Just believe me, guys, when I say this. Before you guys like push your mom aside to, you know, just go hang out with a friend or do something, or just throw your mom aside. Always make her plan B. Understand that she's there unconditionally. She'll always be there for you. And a mom's love is just one of the greatest things ever. So, you know, if you don't, go give your mom a hug. Well, honestly, after this video, just go give her a hug. Fucking if you're watching this on your phone or something, go hug her while listening to this video. Honestly, guys, like, you guys gotta understand how amazing moms are. Like, you guys actually don't understand, like, how important my mom is to me. Like, she's one of the, like, she is the most important person to me. And it's like, I don't know, probably because, like, you know, I have way more deep shit with her, like, to do with my dad and just, I don't know, a lot of stuff like that. So I guess that's why I'm so, like, fucking emotional about stuff like that. But, like, I mean, to some of you guys who might have, like, a perfect, happy mom and dad, and it's kind of like, you know, they're my mom and dad, I'm happy with them, they're the best, awesome, love them to death, blah, blah, blah. And you don't fully get it. But, I mean, when you have to really depend on one person like that, you know, it really does change. And honestly, guys, I don't think I would love my mom as much as I do if it weren't for you guys. I know it sounds like some classic YouTuber line, like, I wouldn't be who I am without you guys line, even though that's true in my opinion. But, you know, for this, what you guys don't understand is the whole retiring for work mom thing, that is like, I made my mom's dream come true, and like, I didn't do it, we did it. You know, it's not just something I just said, hey, I'm gonna do it. I mean, obviously, I physically did it, but you guys are the reason I was able to do that. That whole me retiring my mom, it even like doubled our like connection. Me and my mom's connection. I mean, it was really good, and we never, you know, we were really happy with her. But now she's straight up like my best friend, and I love her. I know I can't stop stressing that enough, but I want you guys to know that you guys really, really made my family, not just me, you made my family a lot happier. Honestly, guys, I could have like made a strip for this and made it way more like organized and made it flow better, but I wanted to come straight from the heart. I wanted, you know, I didn't want to like write it out and think about, I don't know, I just wanted to like freestyle it, you know what I mean? I don't know. Thank you guys so much for watching. Just know that you guys have really changed my entire family. So just know that it's not just one person, it's a lot of people. A lot of people. So, you know, even I'm talking about like extra family that are like, if you guys don't know what Syria is, like where my mom's from, it's like a straight up war in that country. Like everybody's down. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but you know, obviously my grandparents, my grandma, my one grandma for my mom's mom, and her brothers, all of them are like screwed right now. So this has been able to help them as well. So all I'm saying is that thank you guys so much for everything. It's really helped like so many people, and I can't thank you guys enough for that. So honestly guys, thank you guys for watching. Video Norton Chat. I want you guys to keep it real. Drop a like if you guys enjoyed. Peace out everybody.